Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video. As you can probably tell, this video is going to be a bit of a spicy one, and we're going to be talking about groups who I'm surprised haven't disbanded yet. Whether it's due to their company's bad management, lack of group activities, or just lack of success, every group in this video is going to be one that I'm genuinely kind of surprised are still around today, and in each section I'll cover a different group and talk about why. As always, no hate to any of the artists listed. I'm not going to be like, well, this group's not talented, so they should disband. That's not what I'm trying to do here. But once we actually get started, you guys will know that I'm not trying to be disrespectful. And now is as good of a time as any, so without further ado, let's get into group number 1. Alright, so starting off we have Day 6, and Day 6 actually just renewed their contracts with JYP, which really took me by surprise to say the least. Since 2015, when the group debuted as a 6-membered band, they've lost 2 of their bandmates, and overall haven't experienced the best management by their company. For those who don't know, while Day 6 is under JYP, which also manages groups such as TWICE and Stray Kids, they are under a different division called Studio J, and all of the artists previously managed by Studio J have had a 0% contract renewal rate. Studio J specifically manages all of JYP's soloists and bands, who are objectively, within the K-pop scene, the least profitable, which means that all of the artists managed by Studio J aren't really prioritized by the company. While I don't know all of the ins and outs of Day 6's career, I know that over time this has led to them getting the short end of the stick when it comes to things like promotions. And I know for a fact that because of this, they haven't reached their full potential in terms of popularity. I mean, do many people outside of their fandom even know that they've had multiple subunit and solo projects over the past few years? It almost feels like JYP doesn't want people to know about the music they put out, or are just expecting them to blow up in popularity without doing any of the necessary work as their managers. All of the clues lead me to believe that if the group just stayed together as 4 and left the company, they'd be able to do a lot better on their own, whether that would involve establishing their own company or maybe transferring to a different one, I don't know. But obviously, Studio J has not been doing everything that they could for Day 6, and that's why I'm so surprised they haven't renewed their contracts. I think that just about wraps everything up, so without further ado, let's get into group number 2. Okay, so next we're going to talk about Momoland, a group that I think we can all agree have a lot of different reasons why they should be in this video. First of all, while they did dominate the K-pop scene in 2018 with Boom Boom and Bam, they haven't been at the same level of success in years. That's just undeniable. I mean, for one, you can just look at the music video views. Boom Boom's MV has almost 600 million views, while the one for their most recent comeback, Yummy Yummy Love, has less than 40 million. And that's not even taking into account the views that came from ads. The problem that Momoland faced is that they were never really able to build a fandom. All of their success just came from the general public, and once they fell out of the good graces of the general public, then they didn't really have anything to fall back on. So now they struggle with things like low album sales, low views, and low priority when it comes to things such as booking variety gigs. I know Jui used to be one of the most popular and in-demand variety stars, but once Momoland's popularity died down, so did the amount of her gigs, and it seems like she's kind of been replaced, sadly, by newer and more popular stars. The sad truth is that K-pop is such a competitive scene, and once you lose your momentum, it's really hard to get it back, and Momoland is kind of just proof of this. It doesn't help that their company, MLD Entertainment, is kind of doing everything but what they need to do. Like, after everybody was criticizing them for having all of their songs sound the same, they gave them more title tracks that were of the same genre. And for the past 3 years, where most groups have 2 to 4 comebacks per year, Momoland have only had 1 in 2020, 2021, and 2022. And that's if you would even count their song Wrap Me in Plastic as an official comeback. So since it seems like Momoland are never going to be able to rise to the top again, and their company doesn't really seem to care about them, I'm surprised that the group hasn't been dismissed entirely. But all I can do is wish the best for the girls, because I do genuinely like them. They're even on my stan list. And I think you should all go stream Ready or Not. Third is going to be iKON from YG Entertainment, who also manages groups like Blackpink, Winner, and Treasure. I'm surprised iKON haven't disbanded, mainly because I'm not sure what YG's plan for them is in the future. For those of you who don't know, iKON used to mainly be a self-produced group, with their member BI being the mastermind behind a majority of their discography. But a while ago, BI left the group, which also means they lost the person who made their music. So now that YG themselves are responsible for finding other people to make their songs, their newer music doesn't really feel like the iKON that people got used to. And it's kind of shown in the success of their more recent comebacks, with songs like But You and YYY not doing nearly as well as some of their other releases. YG's management of them has also been really confusing. They've done things like throw them on Kingdom and then wait almost a year after the show ends to give them a comeback. So now I question what YG wants for iKON in the future. If they want them to top the charts again, then they need to give them different and frankly better songs. Or if they want to grow their fan base, then they need to give them more frequent comebacks. Or, they could do both, but instead they choose to do neither. So if YG don't want to try with iKON, then why do they still keep them around? It's confusing because it seems like they don't even want the group, but they still want to keep them around for some reason. And I guess I just want more clarity as to what's going on behind the scenes, because it feels like their fans are mostly left in the dark, which sucks. Now we'll be talking about Black Swan, and if you know anything about what's going on with Black Swan, then you definitely agree with me. So if you don't know, Black Swan are a 4-member group, I believe, at the moment. But what's interesting is that 2 of the members have just been dismissed and have been replaced by different members for seemingly no reason. Black Swan debuted back in 2019, and initially they had 5 members, but then one of them left. Besides that though, the other 4 have been around for the entire time. The group's career has been shaky, to say the least. They've had 1 comeback per year, and they also had a huge controversy last year between 2 of the members who got into some drama. Those 2 members are Fatou and Leah, and surprisingly, they are the 2 members who are still in the group. And the ones who weren't involved in the controversy were the ones who were released from their contracts. A lot of people, including me, were thinking that the controversy last year was going to be the end of the group and they were just going to disband entirely. So it's a very interesting move from the company to have only Fatou and Leah be the original members left. And now the group just seems like an entire mess. At this point, I think a lot of people are wondering if it would just be best for everyone involved if the group disbanded, considering amid all of this controversy, the group wasn't even pulling in great numbers when it comes to streams or album sales. So what's the point of keeping the group together if it's just going to cause emotional distress to the members and it's going to lose the company money? That is just my take, but let me know what you guys think in the comment section. And now let's move on to the next entry. Alright, so next on the list we have GWSN, a group that definitely had a lot of potential to be more popular than they are, but have fumbled the ball majorly when it comes to their management. Another group that has only had 1 comeback per year for most of their career, which is an especially bad idea for an up-and-coming 4th-gen girl group when the competition is so high, because groups that have more frequent comebacks will be able to build a larger fan base, and will catch people's attention for a longer time. In the beginning, they had so much potential, with Puzzle Moon being really well received, and most people who heard it thought it was one of the best debuts ever. I mean, they even got nominated for Rookie of the Year at Mama. But after that, the hype around GWSN has slowly but surely been dying down. Besides a small surge in popularity with their song Bazooka, every other title track has been less popular than Puzzle Moon, and to top it all off, they haven't even had a comeback this year, which doesn't make things look too good for their future. I fear that because GWSN are a less popular group, even if they do eventually have a comeback, there aren't going to be many people still waiting for them, and if their company knows this, then they might just not have a comeback ever. At this point, it's sad to say, but I think it would take a miracle for GWSN to come back into the limelight, and miracles just don't happen in the K-pop scene that often, which makes me think that we're just counting down the days until their company makes that official announcement. But I could be wrong, who knows? Second to last for this video, we're going to be talking about Mamamoo. So Mamamoo recently renewed their contracts with their company, but that was only 3 of their 4 members. Wheein actually left the company, but she's still in the group and is just managed by a different label. I guess the main reason why I'm surprised they haven't disbanded yet is because their company fought really hard to keep the members together, while at the same time have been like sabotaging their careers. Despite all 3 of the members under RBW having solo careers, RBW doesn't really promote them at all, or at least not as well as they used to. As we all know, Hwasa is one of the most famous idols ever and used to be one of the most popular soloists as well, but she had a solo comeback last year and it barely made any noise. I don't know about the rest of you, but to me, it's simple math. If you have one of the most popular idols ever and you give them good music, then they are going to be successful. But if that's not the case, then the problem lies with the company. I mean, both of Hwasa's first 2 solos hit number 1, so it's pretty obvious that it's a promotional error that her 3rd solo didn't even hit the top 50 in the I-dle Digital weekly charts. And even in the other members, you see this sort of decline in how well their solos do. Solar's solo Spit It Out was able to get her a music show win, but she hasn't been able to get one since. And interestingly, the only member who's been able to get a music show win after contract renewals has been Wheein, who is managed by a different company now. So the question I have is both, why did the members choose to stay with the company if they weren't going to promote them properly? And why did the company even want to keep them if they were just going to give up as soon as contract renewals were over? The math is not mathing. And at this point, I think it would definitely be best for the members to run away from the company the next time contract renewals come up. Because wow, RBW really fumbled the ball with Mamamoo. And just like a lot of other groups in this video, my message to the company would be, if you want your group to be successful, you actually have to try. Alright, so this entry was actually chosen by my channel members, so if you want the chance to choose entries in future videos, consider clicking either the join button down below or the first link in the description. But yeah, for the final group in this video, we have Super Junior. They've been around for 17 years now, and I guess I'm just surprised that after so long, they're still able to be active and somewhat successful in the idol industry. I mean, as we all know, most idol careers only last around 7 years, so for them to go over double that is both surprising and, in a way, impressive, because that really just does not happen 99% of the time. I mean, of course, there is the argument that this is just Big 3 privilege, but when you think about it, Super Junior, along with like SES and Girls' Generation, are the groups that built this company and created their Big 3 privilege in the first place. So I don't know how well that argument lines up. Either way, just the length of their career is enough of a reason for me to be surprised they haven't disbanded yet, but it is SM Entertainment, and we know how SM is about disbanding groups, so I don't know. And now we have come to the end of our video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. If you did enjoy, don't forget to leave a like, and if you want to see more content from me, consider subscribing. As always, at the end of every video, we thank our channel members by reading out their names. So without further ado, I'd like to thank Opijin ITZY, Woo Twice Tees, Dog, What's OP, Zeus112, Jackie, Xavier H, Ian Latte, Soda Scribbles, Minacor, Adrian Wang, Shiny, Mizu Molnarovier, Fixon Jung, Cassie, Gav, Adifa N, Irene, Chili's Cafe, Mello, Ale, Julia Peterson, Che, 97th Heaven, Frosty Plays, Julian Zalazar, Jay, Alpha Fox, Edgy Does Things, Namjoon's Lost AirPods, Q-Kun Love, Kaylin Castor, I.O.I, Elizabeth Allinger, Sonorinth, Miriam, Flo099, Woo Youngie, Jed, Mailty, Kieran Johnston, and Silverwind. Thank you all so much for supporting the channel, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out.